But you never know that you could. And when you feel that way, ain't it good, good dancing in the red and gold. Dancing in the red and gold.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to, well, let's be honest, a pretty special edition of 49er Faithful UK Live. I'm Nick Ludlam.
I'm Paul Hope.
And guys, we're there. We're there. Football is on Sunday. It's finally happening. There's no more weeks of rest. There's no more messing about. It is 49er football time. The quest to 6 counts down from now. So, before we get into everything, come on, Paul, how you been, mate?
I'm feeling pretty good, Nick. Pretty good. NFL football every weekend from now until February. The calendar is filled up. I've got that schedule ready. It's a 6 p.m. game for the UK faithful this Sunday. So I am excited, Nick, to seeing all the mini-meets going up around the UK. Well documented that I'm having a fantastic one in the Northeast. And as I said to the chaps on the pod last night, Nick, if you're holding a meet up anywhere in the UK, across the world, can be 2, 3, 4 of yous, hit me up on social media and we'll get it shared because 49ers football is back and I am feeling excited, buddy. How are you? Yeah,
not too bad, mate. You always know just what to say to make me feel that little extra special on a Tuesday after. Well, Tuesday evening. It's not afternoon, is it? But it's all good. It's all good. We are counting down the seconds, not days, not weeks, not months. It is now down to seconds in my head. We play the Steelers on Sunday. We're going to be the Sky game. So, guys, blackouts are on. You know you're going to have to find another way to watch the game because your DAS and Pass ain't going to work this weekend. But seeing as it is coming right up to the season, we're going to go back over some of our previous predictions this week. We're going to go back. We're going to revisit those predictions we made, those all too early preseason predictions. And we're going to go back to it. We're going to see how they change, see if they're the same. And more importantly, we're going to see how you guys feel. We want to know how the faithful feel, how this is, with everything that's playing out right now with Nick Bosa, with everything else. Let's see if this is up to your confidence, locked your confidence. We're going to crack straight on. So we're not going to talk too much about each individual game because we're going to talk about the Steelers and each one as they come in as the weeks go by. So first up, I'm not going to say what they were last time, even though I've got them right here in front of me. Don't want that influencing the decisions at all. So, Paul, let's go first up. Week 1 versus the Steelers. What's it going to be, mate? How are we going to start the season?
It's going to be a win. Week 1, the faithful 6 o'clock game. Like you said, it's not on DAZN, it's on Sky. So that's why I'm having a mini watch party because I don't have Sky Sports, cost of living crisis and all the rest. I try to cut down a little bit. But we'll get into the game a little bit later on because obviously it is Steelers week. But to keep the answer short, which I haven't done, we're going to win, buddy. We're going to win.
Right, guys, don't forget to be dropping in the chat what you think it's going to be. Is it going to be a win? Is it going to be a loss? We'll take that from there and we'll do it like last time. We'll have an end of season result. So get those predictions in for the win-loss. I'm going to upset the apple cart here. I think we're going to lose. I think with everything that's going on, we'll get into it a bit later. But I'm afraid I'm sticking actually with my original prediction, which was a loss. Paul, you had it down as a win, so that stays very much the same. What do you guys think in the chat? Are you thinking it's going to be a win? Is it going to be a loss? What do you reckon? Come on, guys. Tell us what you think. Let's get a record going here.
So before you go on to the next one, there's a couple of chats about number 97. I am going to star those chats, everybody, and we will get to those a little bit later because we all know we want to talk about that. James, I flashed your comment earlier. I won't read it out. I don't know if there's going to be a pick 6 contest. It is something Lee's looking into. And like I said, keep watching, James, because we will talk about Bosa at some point in this show.
Absolutely.
We've got
Can't avoid it.
49ers Faithful in the house. Colin in the house. Colin has answered your question. He says we win
This is it.
28-17. So he's done what you don't like to do. He's put a score to that.
Yeah.
Bebop, close win. I'll take any win at this stage, Bebop, even a 9-0 Jake Moody Super Show. 49ers, Faithful forever. Typically slow start. Doesn't like our week 1 chances. And under Shanahan, Nick, I can understand that. We've won 2, lost 4 in week 1 under Shanahan. Obviously, there's been some mitigating circumstances like the rain last week. But let's have a little look. So, yeah, that's for the comment at the moment, buddy. So, moving on.
I think we've got a win there, really. Okay, chat's going with a win. I'm the party pooper here. Okay, no worries. So, week 2, we are away to the Rams. So, yeah, basically another home game. Let's be honest, we own that stadium. It is ours. So, guys, what do we reckon against the Rams? How are we going to do week 2? Paul, you go first, mate.
Easy win.
Yeah. In fairness, there's very little for me to say about this. I'm fully expecting a nice win. Happy days. I think we get back to 1-1. Oh, hello.
Alex Simpson, I think he means against the Steelers. Yeah.
Okay.
First game.
So against the Rams, they're all coming in. Look at that. Win. I'm not even going to go part. Let's not bother with that for the rest. We all know we're going to beat the Lambs. That's a nice, easy win. How are we doing, Cubs? You all right, mate?
Getting a regular now, Cubs. I like it, buddy. I like it.
That's it.
So,
yeah. You're going to have to start putting up things if you're not there anymore.
Week 3.
Guys. Week 3. This is it. First home game. We got the Giants.
Football. Yeah, Giants. This is a very special game, Nick, because Lee Gowland, a.k.a. El Presidente, will be in attendance on his 50th birthday. So I'm going to jump in first and say this is a win. And Lee believes it's going to be a 50 burger. You heard it here first.
Oh, that's a big win. You're talking about a team that's not done too badly. We all thought they were going to be horrific last year. And they actually did all right. And they've added some decent pieces this year. I don't think we'll put a 50 burger on them, but I'm going with you guys. They win for El Presidente.
Someone's been listening to the pod. I like it. Alex Simpson, the pod dropped earlier. 50 burger. And speaking of the pod, good evening, Mr. Ellis. We're joined by 49ers Faithful UK royalty. So
absolutely nothing more than a Welshman likes a lamb dinner. Happy days. Get the mint sauce out. Love it.
Before you move on to the next one, another comment, Neil. I've seen your comment about Bosa, buddy. So I'm trying something new. I'm going to star the Bosa comments. And then when we get to that segment in the show, we'll then go back through them. So we're not ignoring you. And I'm not sure what Alex laughing at there. Probably evil Nick being a party pooper. Who knows? But go on, buddy.
That's all good. I like that scoreline. I don't know why, but I do like it.
You try and pay a guy compliments, and look what happens.
Yeah, you can't use things like that on a Welshman. It's not fair. Okay, guys. So week 4. Do I really need to ask? Look, we've got the Cardinals at home. Does anybody in here honestly think the Cardinals have even the remotest of hopes of winning against us this year? Let's be honest. I don't. This could be a big score. Hopefully the players will look at this and they're right, let's pad some stats. Let's get this going. And this is where the season really kicks off. I think this is when the national media really picks up the Niners and they start putting us on the map for that 6th Lombardi. So wins across the board. So far, Paul, you have us at 4-0 going into that. Okay. Chat, 4-0. And then there's me at 3-1. Okay. Now, this is where I think things may be a little bit different from the last time. We have the Cowboys at home. So, Paul, what do you reckon, mate? Cowboys at home, what's the result going to be?
I'm sticking with... I know we did this as a rather early season prediction. It seemed like ages ago. I'm sticking with a Cowboys win. And just before you want... Sorry, a Niners win.
Cowboys win? Oh.
No. Niners win. So, Cubs, I am from the northeast of England. Nick is a proud Welshman. In
Did
your
stuff
credit,
Wales.
Nick, I do forget about the English-Welsh rivalry because we're 49ers fans. So sometimes
True.
I
It
make
doesn't
the odd
exist with us.
slip. So apologies, but there you go, Cubs. So yes,
Indeed.
if you've debated the accents, buddy, we'll put some subtitles on because I know we're both a bit broad with where we come from. But no,
Yeah.
I don't care that Trey's gone there. We beat them in the playoffs every year. We're beating them in the regular season. So it's a win for me for the 49ers.
Yeah, I'm going to go with a win as well. Now, this is the one the first one I was genuinely interested to see how this would go down with chat. So, guys, what do we reckon? What do you honestly think this is going to be? Because I'll tell you, last time out, everyone in the chat actually had the Cowboys down as a win. There it is. There's the first one. Does anyone think that, pipe up, guys, just say it now, because otherwise this is going to go down as another loss for the Niners, and this is going to be on you, to be honest.
Ray's got my back. Ray's in there.
Okay, so that's 1-1. Who's going to be a tiebreaker? Who's going to give me a win or a loss? Let's see who's going to put it in? Who wants my undying gratitude? There it is. Colin, the man, always.
Colin, he watches this show. He knows what we're all about.
Okay, all right. So we're going wins across the board for the Cowboys. Now, the next one's a big one. The next one's a really big one because it's at the Browns, and of course, it will be the big watch party in London where we will all be in attendance. Yeah, apparently there's some other games going on that weekend in London. We don't care. There's some other NFLs going, but okay, at the Browns, week 6. Paul, what's your thinking, mate?
Win for the Niners. We've got to break the UK curse of the watch parties from last year. We'll be in the capital city. We'll be all wearing white because the road team in Cleveland don't particularly like the Browns. And I've been very honest with the reasons why I don't like the Browns to do with one player in that organisation. So for me, I hope we smash them into the ground and we all are celebrating long into the night in London.
Yeah, same here. I want a nasty hangover on the Monday, which makes me have to stay in London for an extra day because I put the Tuesday off work as well, so I don't have to go home too soon. I'm going to go with a win. Guys, what are you thinking, everyone watching? Are we going to have another win here? Because so far you've got us at a perfect start to the season.
We are got the Super Bowl, mirroring the 2019 run. So anybody who's listened to the latest pod will not be surprised at the way I've gone. I have stuck my neck on this and I am sticking to it until I'm proven wrong. And there's a mistype here. Alex put a 49ers win.
Oh, hello. I was going to say, with the 2019 run, I was the jinx there because that was the first year I went out to see the 49ers. And of course, the Niners were 8-0 going into that Monday Night Football game against the Seahawks. And that was the first game we lost that year.
Well,
I killed the season. So that was good. All right, and we're going to go with a win then. So that's wins across the board for week 6. We're on into week 7. We have the Vikings away. So we are heading up north. Things are going to be getting a little bit colder, but they're going to play in, let's be honest, a fairly beautiful stadium. I will admit the Vikings have a lovely looking stadium. I'm going to say the Niners win this as well. I don't think that they're going to turn around too much regarding their defense. I don't think it'll be that good. Even with the new regime, how they started last year, I still think that's another win for us, to be honest. Paul, what do you reckon, mate?
Looking forward to all the QB talk that week. Well documented. Kyle likes a bit of Kirk. He likes that. He likes that a lot. I think we win that one, and I think we win easily. But El Presidente is in the house. Smash that like button, everybody. That's what I like to see. Alex Simpson, you are testing our patience with that block button. I know I upset him on a weekly basis with the would you rather, but it's all hypothetical. There's a bit of bullying going on here, Alec. You're getting yourself a bit of a reputation.
Online bullying.
So Cubs is just jumping back to the Browns game. He's worried about Watson and his running. Bebop to the Manning cast that night versus the Vikings, which is Good
Yeah,
to
okay.
know.
That might be interesting to watch.
I think Collins
We've
put
got a
down for
loss.
for the Vikings game. Cubs
Okay.
is on the same page as me. Kirk Cousins
Oh.
interview for next year. You know that's going to dominate the storylines. And as Ray's put there, the offensive line is not strong enough to hold us back. And answering James's question, El Presidente believes Alec has set up a Pick'em League, which is the same as the Pick Six. So we will get the details to you, James, and anybody else who wants to take part in that.
Happy days. So by my counts, that's a tie in the chat. We've got wins, we've got loses. Guys, what do you think? Come on, who's going to be the tiebreaker on this one?
Just put it down for a win. That's what we do on this show. What the 49erFaithfulUK do.
Down for a
Just
win.
put it for a win.
Is anyone? Come on, someone put a W or an L in that column for me. Come on. Come on.
Against the Vikings.
Go on. Do it. There we go.
Yes, Simon.
Like it. See?
Peer pressure at
from
its
the other
best.
side. Right then. So then we now come into week number 8. Coming up towards halfway through the season. And we're back home. Now this time we got a real test. It's going to be the Bengals. So Bengals at home, week 8. What do you reckon, guys? Let's let these guys go first. Come on. Wins and losses before me and Paul say anything.
While we're waiting for that, Alec has confirmed he is doing the Pick'em League, and it's the ESPN one. So if you're following on Facebook, head over to the Facebook group. If you're not, head over to Twitter. And between me, Nick, Alec, one of the three of us will get it sorted. Now, answering your question, Lee has gone for a close win. Alex Simpson's gone for a win. Simon has gone for a loss. Colin has gone for an easy win.
That's bold.
Burrows intercepted 3 times.
Okay.
Well, we are known across the pond for being bold with our predictions. Mr. Simpson's got that pen and paper ready.
Oh, don't worry. It's all here. Don't worry. Okay. Chat's going with a win.
Overtime win with a moody 55-plus field goal. Welcome to the show, Paul. What an introduction.
Right, okay. Now, in the comments, had that down as a loss last time. So we are now changing that to a win. So far in the comments, we have the Niners down as an unbeaten start through 8 weeks. Paul, what do you reckon, mate?
Well, this ties in with my bold prediction. I think we lose this one in the regular season. And I think we have our vengeance later on, shall we say. But I do believe we lose this one. I'm a fan of Burrows. The Bengals O-line has improved. And I just feel that I couldn't do a Lee Gowland and sit here and go 20-0. So I have to sprinkle a few losses in there. So I'll sprinkle one to an AFC team. So I believe we lose this one, buddy, as it stands today.
That's fair. I'm going with a loss as well. This is only, we're through 8 weeks. We're through 8 weeks. 2 losses. I'm fine going into week 8 or finishing up week 8 as 6-2. That's a pretty damn good start to the season. We'll probably still be 3 or 4 wins above anyone else in our division, and that's ultimately all we need to do is win our division. Then you go to the playoffs. We can worry about the rest after. Okay, so moving into the back end now, we've got week 9, the one we were all hoping would be a London game. It is away to the Jags. What are you thinking, guys?
So, Rob,
come on.
We never fear. We know you're always here, buddy. And as Leah said there, 8-0, baby. 8-0, baby. No surprises there, Lee.
No surprise at all. Here come the wins. Here comes an avalanche of wins coming through. Yeah, that's what my thinking. If we're 6-2, I'm a happy man. As long as one of the losses hasn't been to like the Lambs or something, that would be killer. Right. Yeah, I think we're going to be we've got a win coming through here from the talk there. I'm going to go win as well. I think you're going to see a better Jags team. This is a Jags team for the future. It isn't a Jags team for now. Not for me. I think we win that game. What about you, Paul?
Yeah, I think we win that game. I think it'll be closer than people think. I think the Jags could be some people's dark horses this year, but I just think this Niners team has a bit too much on offense for them. But I think it'll be a good game. And like you said, just a shame it's not the London game. But who knows what will happen next year.
Right, yeah. Okay, week 10. We are back home in Santa Clara. This time we have the Buccaneers visiting. Come on, Paul. Give us your win-loss, mate.
Well, this is the gold mine game. So the 49er Faithful UK are taking over the gold mine at Levi's. I'm really excited to see this one. I can't say anything other than a Niners win. And as I said on the pod last night, Baker Mayfield is just meh. And I cannot wait to see Nick Bosa. That's correct, everyone. Nick Bosa make that lad's life hell. And the gold mine will be going crazy. And you can have it here officially. It will be the best atmosphere that Levi's has ever seen. And that is a bold prediction. And Lee has put it's week 11 because week 9 was a bye. So he's just correcting you there, Nick. You know,
okay.
Keeping you right.
It is game 10. So
50 burger on the books. The Buccaneers are not getting any love.
Okay.
But yeah, I knew what you meant, buddy. But Lee's he's correct there. It is week 11.
He is right.
He knows that game. That game has been penciled into his calendar for a very long time.
Pencil, that's sharpied in. I'm surprised he can't see it through on the actual concrete. Okay. Oh, so shutout win. Okay. I'm going win against the Bucs as well. I don't see them having enough to beat us. They've got some good pieces. They've still got Baker Mayfield. Same reason why they lose for me. So yeah, we got wins across the board there. Now, this is where we start to get those divisional games coming back. And week 12, game 11, is away to the Seahawks. So we're heading up north. Do we think the noisy neighbors can beat us? Admittedly, on their own patch.
This will be another game that Lee Gowland will be at. I feel like he's at every game this year. I'm going to go with my head rather than my heart. I feel Seattle have got better. I'm going to give away the second game against Seattle. I think we lose this one. I think we win at home. But I know it was a mixed bag last night. Najee even went as far as to say we smashed them. We win easily, which, don't get me wrong, I hate Seattle. So I hope he's right and I'm wrong. But in the general contest of our season prediction, I didn't want to come on and just do all Niners wins. So I think we could lose this one, buddy. Lee is disagreeing with me, of course, because the noisy Brits will be there. Colin is on the same page as me. Sea Chickens are due a win. Ray, they've drafted well. They're a real threat. Okay. So he's using the same logic as me. Lose the first one, win the second one. So where's your heart at, Nick?
I'm actually thinking exactly the same. I still think, Lumen, whatever it's called these days, I don't really care. It's an horrible looking stadium. It's still a massive thing for them at home. It's a real plus point. They are loud. If things start to go off track and maybe the fans don't turn up and it's not so loud, I think they lose. There is a chance they lose more than a few games at that point. I think they're going to be up for it. I really hope I'm wrong. I desperately hope I'm wrong, but I'm going for a loss in that as well.
Rob's just saying he missed the start.
Week one. Week one. I'm the party pooper. Comments have a win. Paul has a win. I actually have us down as losing. So yeah. Thanks for bringing that back up, Rob.
Well, you've got a reputation, buddy. Your reputation precedes you on a Tuesday. What can I say?
So we've got losses across the board. From comments, from me and from Paul, there's losses across the board there. Then we're going to travel over to Philadelphia. And we're going to take on the Eagles in a revenge game. What do we reckon? Come on, Paul.
Philadelphia, their wonderful fan base. There's nothing riding on this game. All jokes aside, this game is going to be a blockbuster. Both teams will be up for this. It's going to be old-fashioned smash-mouth football. Brock Purdy is going to show them why we would have beaten them if he'd stayed fit in the NFC Championship game. And we lose to Seattle. We come into the Eagles feeling rather annoyed, upset, and we take it out on them. And I cannot wait to see it, buddy. So it's a win for the 49ers. Simon's gone for a loss.
Okay.
Alex gone for a win.
Win.
Colin's gone for a loss. Lee has gone for a loss. Ray has gone for the revenge will be sweet. So he's on the same page as me. So where are you, Nick, against the Eagles?
I'm going to be a party pooper again. I think the travel then from one coast to the other, big long road trip, that's going to suck. I can see us losing this. I really can, to be honest. I wish that was the case, but yeah, I want to be more positive about it. Hopefully I'm wrong, and by that point where the Niners are purring beautifully and just destroying teams. But for the moment, I'm still thinking that's going to be a loss. Well, and I think it looks like it's the same in the comments.
Yeah, I think it's a mixed bag. But as Alex said there, I think you're underestimating the last part of the season. Kyle does tend to get it with groove.
He does.
Cubs is same page there. Everything worries. Same page as you. Everything worries him. And it's versus the Eagles on the road. Paul Scrimshaw's jumped in with a loss. So I think this is a game that both fan bases, both teams were looking forward to when the schedule came out. We've got Hargrave, who's going to be fired up to show the Eagles why they're going to miss him. He's going to live up to that reputation as the gravedigger. He's going to make Jalen Hurts his night hell. And Brock Purdy, as I said, I've got every confidence, but I am known for being Mr. Positive, so I'm going to keep that going into the season, buddy.
Fair enough. Okie dokie. We are nearing the end of it, so I think we've already answered the next question, because after the little road trip from Seattle over to the Eagles, we are back at home and we are against the Sea Chickens at our turf. I think this is where we turn it back on, and I see a Niners win, and I see a Niners big win after they've been hurting from those two losses that I've given them beforehand. What do you reckon, mate?
Yeah, I said it earlier. It's going to be a win. So
let's
move on to the next one, because
cool. I think we can give the win in the comments. Everyone was saying the same thing before, so okie dokie. Then look, we've got another easy win coming up because we are traveling to Arizona to play the Cardinals. I think by this point they have completely given up on the season. The only thing they're concentrating on is that young lad at USC and how much can they try and get rid of money-wise by getting rid of Kyler Murray. That's the only thing the Cardinals are thinking about at that point. The only horrible thing is that poor old Eli Manning will probably be a starter by that point, and I'll be gutted that he's not a Niner. But big win.
Yeah, the chat. I'm just going to put a couple of comments up quickly.
Yeah,
I'm on the same page.
This is wins across the boards. The Cardinals have no hope. I think it's already come up in the comments earlier. We really could be looking at the next team to have a winless season.
Yeah.
The Cardinals are that bad. Okay. Week 16. Lee keeping me honest, even without saying anything. But we then are back home again for the Ravens. So Baltimore coming to town. What do you reckon, Paul?
Tracy's least favourite game of the year, 3 a.m. Boxing Day or whatever it feels like. It's a late game in the 49er Faithful. We have got a couple of members out at Levi's for this one. What a Christmas present that's going to be. I'm going to stick to my original one. I think we struggle in this one, and I think we lose this game purely because I didn't want to be accused of just going Niners win, Niners win, Niners win. I had to sprinkle a few more. So I'm going to go for a loss on this one.
Okay. I'm going with a loss, but for different reasons. Now, I had it down as a win last time. I thought the Niners were going to give us a nice little Christmas present there in the UK on Boxing Day. I wonder if maybe after... I do think the Seahawks game is going to be a relatively easy win compared to the previous game. I think the Cardinals won't have given us a test in any way, shape, or form. There's a chance that we're a little bit soft on that, to be honest. And there's a good chance that the division is wrapped up at this point. The Ravens are a good team. Lamar Jackson is one of my favorite quarterbacks to watch. He's a fantastic player from Louisville. They did a great job, and people keep putting him down. I think for a bit harshly. He's having a really good career. In fairness to him. So come on in, everyone in the comments. What are we reckoning? I think we've got 2 losses in there. Have we? Okay.
Alex gone for a loss. Paul Scrimshaw's gone for a loss.
Come on. Does anybody think Alec and Paul are wrong there? Is anyone going to throw a win in for Christmas Day?
Cubs saying that they'll play tough. This is worrisome. So I think looking at the
They're
time,
a good team.
we'll give the chance to catch up. But I'm conscious because we have got a very special guest joining us for the Would You Rather. So stay peeled, everybody, because it's going to be one you won't want to miss.
Well, given what's there. Oh, we've got some wins coming through. Okay. So that's tied.
Yeah.
It's tied. It's tied at 2-2. Cubs, are you going to give us a throw a W or an L in there for me? How worried are you, my friend? How worried are you?
Look at you playing the crowd. I like it, Nick. Oh, Collins jumped in there.
Oh, okay. Let's give it the win. Okay. Yep. No worries. Everyone in the comments has got calling mine and Paul's bluff. Revenge on Harbour. So very, very sweet that would be. Absolutely. Okay, so we're going with a win for them. Then week 17. Game 16. We are away to the Commanders on New Year's Eve. Kind of hoping something happens meetup wise on that. I think that'd be a good little one to have a bit of a night out. But I've got this down as a win. Paul, what about you, mate?
Tracy's second least favourite Niners game of the year because she absolutely loves New Year's Eve. So if there is a meet-up, I will not be attending this one. I'll put that on record. This is going to be a monsoon game, the 9-0 Jake Moody game, a game for the ages. So I'll go for a win. And I think the chat, Paul's put win, Cubs has put win, Diamonds put win.
Okay.
Called it.
So they got a decent D-line, but I still don't think they do much. So heck, Sam Howell might not even be the quarterback at that point. So we'll see what happens with them. And shall I just put wins all around for weeks for the final game against the Rams? Because let's be honest, they're not coming up to Levi's and winning. It's not happening. Niners win.
No. Niners win. The Sam Darnold coming out game against the Rams, because they'll have, I say nothing to play for. They'll want that number one seed, so they'll be trying, as in number one pick in the draft, they'll be going for. Sam Darnold will be getting a few reps in there because they'll be saving Brock Purdy. So, yeah, wins all around.
Righty-ho. So, we have it. We have our preseason predictions now with games obviously set to go on Sunday, week 1. So, Paul, 14-3. As if there was ever going to be any doubt there. Lee Gowland, 16-1 from El Presidente. Okay. I've been a little less optimistic. I'm in at 12-5. And then everyone in the comments has it down as 15-2. So we're not far wrong. We're all, let's be honest, when you look at that as a season as a whole, you're looking for a fantastic season moving forward. That puts us in the playoffs. That puts us in the hunt for that number 1 overall pick. Any of those records could be that. Mine may be a little less likely. Love it tight. Really hope it happens. But we'll have to wait and see. So that's where we are with that, guys. I think at this point, however, we've already alluded to having a super, super special guest. And I believe he's waiting for us, Paul.
Well, on that note, so for those people who may be new to the show, we do a segment called Would You Rather? Nick is rather evil to me. I'm rather nice to Nick. However, the segment has snowballed. We've had people send us theirs to read out. But this week, we're joined by a very special guest, 49er Simon in the house. Appreciate it, Simon, my buddy.
What a pleasure to be here. I didn't think I'd be talking to either of you guys. So, yeah, thank you very much for having us on.
You're
That's
welcome,
quite
buddy.
right, mate. Yeah. So we believe you have a little something for us. So we have been dreading this all day.
Have you? That's great news. Now, in all fairness, right, I was thinking about this because, as you know, I put together one a while ago about which Super Bowl can we have back, the one that we lost. Mm-hmm. So I was asking my wife, Gail, and she, as you know, is a very huge admirer of Nick Bosa's assets. So I just kind of chatting with her, and she said, well, it's easy. I said, what do you mean? and so she came up with the one which is I'm going to talk to you about. So it is an assumption that Nick Bosa stays. Okay, so I know that's in the air, but there we go. So Rumpelstiltskin has been up to his tricks. He knows that we love our 49ers, and he knows that we've struggled with injuries in the past few years. And he said to you that there'll be no injuries apart from one, and you have to pick from two players. Now, I'm not going to give you the option of picking your own players, because I'm going to tell you the players. Now, they are very, very pertinent. Obviously, one is Nick Bosa, because everyone knows he is Defensive Player of the Year. And, you know, he's the heart and soul of that defense, isn't he? Now, the other one is very pertinent, because our QB room is suddenly a little bit, let's just say a little bit shallower in depth. So you've got to pick. And by the way, it does not guarantee a Super Bowl victory. Okay, so you've got to pick. There'll be no injuries at all, apart from either Nick Bosa or Brock Purdy.
Swearing. He comes on the show and he swears at us, Paul. What have we done? What have we done?
I take it all back, Nick. You're no longer evil, Nick. Simon has just come in like a wrecking ball. I did say to Nick off air, Simon, that if you had internet issues or if you weren't able to join us tonight, I had nothing prepared. Now, that's looking like a good option at the moment. Thanks for joining us, Simon. I'll just remove you from the stream.
Yeah, thanks, mate.
Oh, man.
Over to you.
I mean, I'll let Nick go first.
Oh, yeah, thanks. Yeah, great. I can't just see the colour of my face. I've got pubes here. God. I mean, it's a horrific state of affairs, because obviously if Nick goes down, you're then relying on depth across the D-line. We all know how much our pass rush affects our secondary play amongst everything else. I mean, it's a nightmare scenario, this isn't it, for the defense? But then we already know what happens when our quarterback goes down. And I'm pretty well on record as to how much I don't want to see Sam Darnold on the field. Over to you, Paul.
This is the quietest I've seen you two this whole time that I've been watching your broadcasts.
As Ty said there, Simon coming in with a fire. So I'm going to step in and I'm going to help my good friend Nick.
Yeah, please do.
So I believe that the team could survive without Nick Bosa, because the offense is that good. And I want to see the 49ers have a QB go through all the games. And the only reason he sits is right at the end when Alex Simpson's man crush of Sam Darnold gets a game against the Rams. So on that rather horrific would you rather, Simon, and we'll be adding you at the bottom of the list to come back on, I'm going to select Nick Bosa on your would you rather. Would you agree, Nick, or are you going to disagree?
Yeah, I think it's going to have to be, isn't it? We know what happens when you don't have a quarterback. You know, the quarterback's the most important position in sports. Yeah, you know, it's like trying to win a penalty shootout if you don't have a goalkeeper. It just doesn't happen. Sadly, I don't want to see poor Nick get hurt again. He's already had one nasty injury, but sorry, Nick, mate.
And as Ty has put there, no Purdy means Sam Darnold or Brandon Allen. All jokes aside, Simon, that was an absolute great would you rather. The segment has taken off. We've seen other people imitate our would you rather. However, the faithful watching, this isn't a one-time only offer. We would like to see more people jump on and make me and Nick lost for words, because it doesn't happen very often, as Simon has said there. But we do appreciate the support, Simon. You've been with us from day one. We appreciate you jumping on.
Love the whole thing. Thanks for everything you do for everybody that's involved. Honestly, just a quick plug for you all. I think you're smashing.
I appreciate that.
Thanks very much. Cheers for coming on, mate.
Us, buddy.
All the best, guys.
Cheers, buddy.
Thanks.
Bye.
So,
Right.
Nick, how are you feeling after that?
Well, I mean, Ty pointed out, I literally went the color of my shirt for a second. I mean, my job is to book ECGs and heart monitors for patients. I nearly added myself to the list because I did get a little worried with how red I was going for a second.
So,
But
before
thanks for that, Si.
before we transition, so Ty has answered. So Cubs is asking for a flag, the 49er Faithful UK flag. So Cubs, we are trying a couple of different suppliers at the moment. Lee wasn't too happy with the colorway of the flag that has just arrived. So if you're not in the Facebook group and you're following me, Nick, or the 49er Faithful UK on Twitter, once we do the next batch of flags to buy, we will obviously let you know, because as Ty has said, I'll get his comment back up, they've gone around the world and we love to see it. So don't worry, buddy. We will get you a flag, and I will look forward to seeing you flying that proud in Oklahoma, USA.
Absolutely. It's another state ticked off for the 49er Faithful UK.
And like we said, before we move along, Ty has dropped in a great comment, often imitated but never duplicated, doing what we do best. And we do mean it. If you want to jump on like Simon has done there for your own Would You Rather, do hit me or Nick up in the DMs, and we'd love to have you on, because to be honest, I was nervous tonight, Nick. I thought we had no way of knowing, because normally I know what mine is and yours is always evil, but to be fair, I had to step in and save you there. Evil Simon has a nice ring to it.
It really does. He has taken over you as the most evil person in 49er Faithful UK. That's for sure. Right then.
Nick,
now I've calmed down and I've returned to a somewhat normal color. I think at this point we got to talk about Sunday. Let's talk about the Steelers. Let's get a little bit further into this. As part of that, obviously, we are going to be talking about Nick Bosa. So why don't we get Nick Bosa out of the way first then? It's the bit we all want to talk about. It's the biggest thing. It's the defensive player of the year, the best defender in the league, number 4 in the top 100, voted by the players. We all know how special this man is. What do you think? What are you thinking with all of this holdout going on, mate? Is it Bosa? Is it the team? Is it both? Are we reading too much into anything? What are you thinking?
Well, I mean, I think it's a bit of both. So you can see from the team's point of view, we are trying to pay everybody. When you talk about Nick Bosa, I pulled the stats up ready for today. According to PFF, Nick, he had 508 pass rush snaps in 2022. He tallied 90 total pressures to go along with his 18.5 sacks, and he missed a game. So that was insane. Defensive player of the year. You saw what Fred Warner thought of it when he did the celebration, then he did the pay. Yeah. I do share some of the Faithful's frustrations. I did think the deal was going to get done, but I've got my 97 jersey there. I'm not worried as such, because ironically, the Steelers were in the same position we were with TJ Watt. And Mike Tomlin did an interview yesterday and he said, I'm preparing for Bosa. We were in the same boat. I know Brad Graham and the SF Niners have had a laugh about Bosa signing the contract an hour before the game, parachuting in and sacking Kenny Pickett. I've seen a few people starting to talk about, do we trade him? Do we want to pay him all that money? Now, Jason Hurley, who was a big fan of the show, big friend of the 49er Faithful UK, he was on the pod with the chaps last year. He breaks the salary cap down, Nick, better than anybody I know. And his latest tweet out there is shut down. The Bosa deal won't cost the 49ers any of their core players. The 2024 situation, in his opinion, is being overblown. And he goes on to explain that we've got options to, when it comes to contracts, extending Dre, Armstead, Ward, saving money, redoing contracts. Now, I am ever the optimist, and I'm not too worried about 2024. I'm focused on now. I do believe it's a bit strange that Kyle and John have gone on record. It's well documented that we're going to pay Nick. Nothing to worry about. I can kind of see we're in Steelers week now. We've had all the talk about Trey, Jimmy, Sam Darnold, Brock Purdy. I did feel that when you're talking about a generational talent, it should have been done. Now, we did have a few comment. So Simon put up early before you give your thought that apparently
Yeah.
negotiations are broken down. I haven't seen that. You know, I'm on social media a fair bit. I checked before I came on the show. I haven't seen anything to say with that. 49ers, faithful forever. Anybody else getting a little annoyed at Bosa as much as we are at the front office? I'm not annoyed because he hasn't scrubbed his social media. He hasn't done any leaks from what I can see. Him and his camp have been consistent. He wants to be the highest paid non-QB, given that he's the best player on the team, given what he brings to the table. Jed York, just pay him. If he wants the guaranteed money, give it to him. If it's a couple of $1 million, we make lots of money as the 49ers. Give that man what he wants. Good friend of the show, Neil Graham, has said all along that he's quite relaxed about Bosa. He'll sign, but Neil's starting to get at that mildly concerned point as the week goes on. The frustration we have, Nick, in the 49er Faithful UK is the time difference. So I went on my lunch break earlier today, and when I checked the world clock, it was like 7 a.m. in San Francisco. So, of course, there was going to be no news. As we stand at the moment, we went live 12 noon over in California. I haven't seen any news. No one's put anything up in the chat. There's a few comments going. So what's your thoughts while I catch up on the chat? Are you worried? Do you want to trade him? Or do you think 97 is going to be there on Sunday?
I don't care if he signs after week 1 or after week 2. I still think he signs. We don't trade him. No one, I don't think anyone is going to give up what is required to bring in the best defensive player in the league. Realistically, what we want for him, no one's going to give it to us. So he signs. I think it's the only logical outcome. The more and more I actually read about the Chris Jones situation over with Kansas, when you realize they have the same agent, then you have to start thinking, well, wait a second, is this an agent being too greedy? You know, I'd be very surprised if the Niners haven't already offered him a deal that makes him the highest paid non-QB in the league. The fact that there is another one holding out. All right, yeah, well, Chris Jones obviously second best defensive tackle in the league behind Aaron Donald and wants to be paid as such. But when you have 2 players with the same agent holding out, it's got to make you wonder. You know, if you want to wonder about what the team are doing and wonder about what Nick Bosa's thinking, you've also got to worry about or wonder about what's this agent doing? What's he doing behind the scenes? What's he saying in Nick Bosa's ear? You know, and that's more concerning to me than anything. The fact that there are multiple players with the same agent all holding out. You know, that it's a weird thing. I still think he signs. I'm not so sure he's going to sign in time for the game against the Steelers, but heck, I'm wrong every week, so I don't mind being wrong again.
Do you not think it's strange, buddy, that this time last year, Deebo Samuel, AJ Brown, and there was another receiver, and his name slips my mind. They were all under the same agent, and there was all this talk, and then as soon as one deal got done, I believe Brown's might have got done first, then Deebo's got done. DK Metcalf, they all have the same agent. Now, it is getting a little bit close to comfort, as Ty's put there. John Lynch will bring the contract with him to Pittsburgh, as Cubs has quite rightly pointed out there. TJ Watt was in the building, but I'm not overly worried that Bosa's not there. But he's saying that he would have to go to 4 time zones away, sign a deal, do a physical, fly back. Now, I like the conspiracy theory going around that the deal's already done. It's already been signed. It's all a big diversion tactic to wind up the Steelers. And Bosa's going to come out like Superman. We want some good news. If he's missing week 1, that's what makes this game difficult to talk about. So I know, for example, we're going to touch upon the Steelers game now because it's obviously Tuesday. We don't have all the injury reports, the inactives. We will be doing a show later on this week, 49er Faithful UK, the pod. Me and Nick will not be giving the score prediction tonight because Nick doesn't like to do that. Now, Cubs just pointed out there that Jones is a DT, Bosa is a DE, Donald makes 31 plus. The agent is known for wanting 8 to 15% increase contract after contract, and Cubs is getting uncomfortable. Alex Simpson Just put as long as he's around for the playoffs, he's happy. Ty is getting a T-shirt made up. I'm wrong every week. Nick, don't worry, Ty might have to drop that one on Twitter. Now, I am known as ever the optimist, and we did say on the show last night, Nick, that we ride this emotional roller coaster every week, which is the 49ers. There's no such thing as an off season. There's just going to be football games sprinkled into the mix. Win or lose, I'm always smiling the next day. I love the team. I love the sport. I want Nick Bosa to be paid. I think, given the nature of the game, I have no issue with that. Equally, I'm going to sit on the fence. I have no issue with the team trying to get the best deal. But at this stage, look at what happened when the Raiders traded away Mac for a couple of first-round picks, and I thought they were going to rebuild. And our record with the draft in the higher end isn't as great as what it maybe should be. So for me, pay the man. But as it stands today, I'm not overly worried. And before we move on, Alex Simpson will be allowed on the Would You Rather with one rule. He's not allowed to ask Nick a question about a certain kicker who missed a certain field goal in a certain game.
Ruin my goddamn day. But yeah, I'll be all right.
Moving on to the Steelers game. Admittedly, I haven't done a lot of prep for the Steelers yet. We did our 49er Faithful UK bold prediction show last night, which dropped earlier today. I had a laugh with the chaps, as always. I knew Nick was going to go back over our season predictions. I'm fired up for the game. You know a little bit more about the Steelers than me, though, Nick, at this point, which I think is fair to say. So, enlighten us with your wisdom, buddy.
No, the Steelers are a good team. They've got a really good head coach. Tomlin's never had a losing season. He's not going to want that to change. Kenny Pickett, he's coming on a lot quicker than I thought he would. I'll be honest, I thought they would have had a losing season last year, but he's turned it on. He's looking tidy. He's got a real good connection with Pickens. Pickens is looking real good. I don't agree with there was a soundbite a few weeks back where it was an ex-Steelers receiver, I can't remember who it was trying to bang the drum that Pickens is a better receiver than he was a more talented receiver than Justin Jefferson. That's fine, but you can have all the talent in the world, but the application is far superior from Justin Jefferson. But still, Pickens and Pickett is a good combination. That's going to be around for some time. I think it's not going to be as good as maybe Ben Roethlisberger to what's his face that went off the wall. I can't. His name's just gone. It's just completely gone from my head. Antonio Brown. It's not going to be at that kind of level, I don't think, but it's still going to be a very good combination for the Steelers moving forward. And then when you look at their defense, the defense is solid. They've got two great linebackers who can rush the passer in TJ Watt and Highsmith. Highsmith has just signed, a pretty big contract himself after a hell of a season. They're going to be a hard team to beat, and they are a team that will start fast. The starters have been very impressive during preseason. I will temper that. It is only, of course, preseason, but it's just everything combined to me makes me think this is going to be a loss. I want desperately to be wrong. More than anything, I want to be wrong on this. But I just can't see us winning this one. I really can't. I think it'll be a tight one, but it'll be a loss.
You're not alone. When I was reading up on my lunch break today, 6 of the 10 analysts on the panel, the article I was reading, picked the Steelers to upset the 49ers. 3 believed the outcome would go to the Steelers' favour by 1 point. I've seen some scores out there, 24-17, 26-17, 23-20, 21-20. So even though we're not doing the score prediction, Vegas and all the panelists don't seem to think it's going to be a blowout. I believe you're right. Pittsburgh away is a tough game. The Steelers traditionally start slow. So for me, it's a good time to play them. I think Kyle Shanahan and our new defensive coordinator, Steve Wilkes, will look at trying to see if I got his name right yet, Kenny Pickett can beat us on the run. maybe to see whether he can use his legs a little bit more. I think we have to try and assert ourselves, especially if Nick Bosa isn't playing. But I'm looking forward to the mini watch party. There's about 7 or 8 of us going down to my local casino. We'll be wearing the red and gold. We'll be having some banter. We'll be flying the flag. As Ty's put there, we have Brock Purdy and they don't. And yeah, Cubs, to be fair, I am monitoring. We were quite high on Jake Moody. I know we've signed a kicker to the practice squad, but from all accounts, what I saw yesterday, Moody was out on the practice field, was getting some kicks in there. As we said, everybody, we do this show on a Tuesday. That's why when we're looking ahead to the game, we're not going to come and give too many bold predictions at this stage because we like doing the show on a Tuesday. I think as the season moves on, Nick, the Tuesday show will be more about talking about the game that we've just watched, sprinkling with the would you rather. And obviously, the chat, as always, brings the fire. Alex Simpson has come in with a hot stat there that something like the Steelers haven't lost a week 1 game for 5 years. First time for everything, Alec.
Yeah, there's always a first for everything. You never know. I would love to be the one that breaks that streak. I mean, the kicker we signed is the next Steelers kicker. I mean, what a wonderful thing. What a wonderful story that would be if we come in last second, Moody can't play, ex-Steeler comes in, wins the game for the Niners. That'd be pretty good. I'd be fine with that.
I mean, to be fair, I've seen a few talk on social media. I follow a couple of Steelers fans, and the talk is that their offensive coordinator likes to fancy himself a bit of a show pony, a bit of a peacock. And I think Kyle Shanahan will like to show who is boss. We've got CMC, we've got George Kittle, we've got Deebo Samuel, we've got Brandon Ayuk, we've got Ronnie Bell, we've got Kyle Juszczyk. So we may not have a kicker, and Cubs is coming to the rescue there. It's Matt Wright. Maybe he's made of the right stuff, Cubs. I'll get that pun in there first. And as Ty's put there, the Steelers clock is about to reset. But I do think it'll be a close game. The Sky Sports have picked that as their 6 o'clock game for us in the UK, which, as Nick pointed out earlier, it means for people like me who have your Game Pass subscription, that game is blacked out. So if you haven't got Sky, do head out to your local bar. There's no English Premier League games on because it's the international football break this weekend. So when I rang the casino, Nick, they were over the moon that I was wanting to book something in at 6 p.m. on a Sunday. Where will you be watching the game, Nick? I know you can't make the journey up north because it'd just be a bit too far, but you watching at home or you're heading out?
I will be at home, sat on my sofa. I will be getting ready. I don't know. I'm ready for some new traditions. Like every year, I have new. Well, it's a tradition. Superstitions. They build up as the season goes on. But by the end of week 17, by the end of the regular season last year, I could not watch a game without a very specific pair of socks on. I couldn't do it, even throughout the playoffs. We didn't lose a game after I bought the Mitchell and Ness throwback Dwight Clark jersey at Levi's. We obviously didn't lose a game. I wore that jersey in the second game. That was obviously Brock Purdy coming in after Jimmy went down. We didn't lose the game, and then until obviously the NFC Championship final. So I build up these superstitions as the season goes on. So I'm interested to see what superstitions I'll build over the next 3 to 4 months. But we shall be starting just with a nice big plate of nachos on my sofa. Happy days.
Well, before we finish off, Simon has jumped back in the chat.
Gail.
Gail, maybe you need to come on, Gail, and with your own, would you rather? But we had to choose Bosa in that scenario. We couldn't have the QB controversy that we've had. And Cubs, we do appreciate you joining us live. As you said, you haven't missed much because we do like to keep the Tuesday show to about an hour. We do appreciate everybody who's joined us in the chat. As I've just said earlier, the 49er Faithful UK pod is out now. So go and listen to the bold predictions. I'm sure Alex Simpson has got that pen and paper ready and he's going to hammer us because we were very bold. If you haven't listened to the show, As we say every week, please do drop us a like and subscribe on Twitter or X or Instagram, whichever one of those ones you go on. The YouTube channel is growing nicely. We do appreciate everybody's support. We appreciate everybody that joins us every week. The chat just bring the fire. And as Simon said that, I did cut him off earlier. So I might have to get Simon back on and shout out his back 9 again.
9 again.
I apologise for that, Simon. But Nick, we have football. Join us next Tuesday, 8 p.m. UK, 12 noon Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern, where we will break down the good, the bad, and hopefully the not so ugly. But all that is left for me and Nick to say until next week is go Niners.
Go Niners.
We love the San Francisco 49ers deep in the heart, like Joe Montana in the corner.